she joined us. We are down here in Mesa, Arizona for A spring training. We'll get to more A stuff a little bit later. Kayte is in Indianapolis. Now, we were going to mess around, and we were actually messing with the idea of bringing Kayte on today.
That's what I heard.
On video.
Yes.
Yeah, she shut that down like an hour ago. And not only did she shut it down, she got mad at me. She got mad at me over text for even asking about it. So Kayte joins us via voice.
Well, I wanted to see Kayte.
So did I. I wanted to see Kayte too, but she didn't want any part of it.
Oh my God!
When
Nobody wants to see me right now.
Well,
come on.
Beg to differ. I think YouTube would also beg to differ. But that being said, and I was just like, hey, I was just curious. I was like, why? Is everything okay? And she goes like this. She goes, Dave, I'm not doing it. I was like,
ooh,
wow.
The tone.
She used my name. If she writes my name,
oh yeah, you're in trouble.
It's like when my mom says David.
Yeah,
like I right. I'm like, wow, I was just asking. I don't care. It's fine. Geez. So hopefully everything.
No. So it's not. So Jason, I wonder if you can relate to this. It's not just like a why. I was just asking. It was like you tell him, and then it's like a why, and then you answer the question, and then it's like a why, and then you answer that question, and it's like a why, and it's like dealing with my 3.5-year-old. Why? And I'm like, why? Dave, I'm not doing it. So I had to use like the given name, so that he understood that I was not to be messed with this morning.
Yeah, apparently. Okay. So I guess let's just do a straight basketball show. By the way, I should screenshot this. Two Y's, Jason. 2 Y's.
Oh, 2 Y's.
So
what if I asked?
It was
Kayte, what if I asked you?
Yeah, you should have been fine.
Would you have done it?
Oh, well, see, but no, I still wouldn't have done it.
Oh,
but you wouldn't have said, Jason, I'm not doing it.
I probably wouldn't have to do like, Jason, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I would prefer not to. I've been like, okay, Kayte doesn't want to do it.
Are the Kings going to do the basketball tonight in a winning fashion, Kayte? First off, I know you're hearing the same thing about Tyrese Halliburton, that he is questionable. It's like two big tanks running into each other. Is this going to be a game of hot potato, Kayte, where the final score is 19-14?
You mean like two uninhabited tanks? Like just,
exactly.
riderless tanks. Right?
Yes.
Just backing into each other.
No ammo.
Yeah, what are we going to see tonight?
Oh, gosh, who knows? Yeah, who knows? It's just, Buddy, Buddy will always be playing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and to be honest, like Buddy has been playing really well here. So that's one thing. And, like last night, it was a bunch of people got together, and of course Tyrese was the one that was the kind of one that arranged it all, and there was a lot of people there, and so to me it's really interesting to see the number of people that turn out for Tyrese, right? Yeah. So hopefully he's feeling better. I know he's dealing with some back issues, and he did periodically earlier in the season as well. But yeah, it's just, he's a type of person that, you just want to see him do well. And so it sucks that, he may not be playing tonight, but it sucks that Sabonis isn't playing. It sucks that, with De'Aaron, what's going on with him, he's doubtful as well. I would be surprised if we see De'Aaron for the remainder of the season. I would be surprised if we see Domas for the remainder of the season. I know they might list him as day-to-day or whatever, but I just don't think at this point that there's any value in having them out there if they're not at 100%.
So on that note, Kayte, I think the other day, the one thing that was so scary, Kings played so well, but the Sabonis injury was frightening looking. Nobody really knew. I think the news is good. But if he, is deemed okay when you guys return from this trip, there's only 4 games. In your mind, is there any value then to play him the last 4?
There's two kind of schools of thought on that, right? Like one school of thought is build chemistry. But if De'Aaron Fox isn't playing, okay, build chemistry with some pieces of this team, not maybe all of them. And then the other one is at this point, what does it matter? Doesn't your lottery position matter more? So, it's hard for me to make up my mind on it one way or the other, because this is, now 16 years into this process of trying to get back to the playoffs. And we've seen the tanking for lottery position. And has that worked out? Has it been beneficial? And then we've seen the school of thought, which is you know what? playing, not focusing on building the culture and the winning component of it, like that's not good for this process. So for me, I'm kind of torn in the middle. And so as Dave's going to say, like indecisive woman moment, but I kind of think you kind of have to say at this point, like, all right, like there's 4 games left. I don't want to risk any major injury. That's really more where I fall. Yeah. It's not even all the other conversation.
Well, that indecisive moment brought to you by Jiffy Lube. When it's time for a road trip, go to Jiffy Lube for all your automotive maintenance needs. No indecision there. From oil changes and tire rotations and more, Jiffy Lube is your road trip headquarters. So, Kayte, no Sabonis, no Fox. We're hearing the same thing, and that's almost certainly going to be for the remainder of the season. So, and let's just be real here. Almost certainly, we love him. Almost certainly, Alvin Gentry is in his final few games as Kings head coach as well. He's got his own career to think about as well. He doesn't want to end on a 9-game or 12-game or whatever it would be losing streak. So just because these guys are sitting does not equate to they're going to lose all these games. Talk to us a little bit about if that happens and Sabonis and Fox are around. And so you've got the Davion Mitchells and Damian Joneses and Dante DiVincenzo's on a restricted free agency year. Talk about how these players sometimes hear that, and we're playing some crappy teams coming up. This may actually backfire if for the tankers for the next few games.
You know what? I don't care about that though, right? Like I don't care about the winning or not winning at this point. I certainly don't think you ever play not to win. That to me is a completely 100% against, I think the nature of people that like love the game, right? That have played.
Well, that's the athlete in you too, though, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. It's the athlete in you. You can't. There's no part of me that is ever going to think that it is okay to play a game not to win it. And so to me, it's like you put these guys out there, you give them the opportunity, you allow them to showcase themselves, and you continue to build the culture and build in the right direction. And there is a very big possibility that they could come out and win some games and surprise some people, especially if you look at this road trip, you guys. Like Indiana, really not a great team. Orlando, not a great team, playing a little bit better. I didn't finish the game last night, but they were playing Golden State well last night.
Beat them.
But I want to watch the second half of it. I watched the first half, but and then that's the thing about being on the East Coast, on the East Coast side for West Coast games. It really sucks. But the other thing is like, then you've got Miami, which is the number 1 team in the East. And then you go to Houston for 2 games. So this road trip, they really could have some success on it, regardless of who's available and who's playing. Because the way I look at it, you guys, that last homestand, some of the best basketball I've seen them play all season long, without
no doubt.
And it's the defense, Jason. To me, that was the thing. Like, wow, like they collectively are playing so much better on that end. And offensively, really, really well as, just in terms of sharing the ball, moving it. And what did they have, like 16 assists in the first half of that game the other day? I mean, it was beautiful to watch.
It was. And Kayte, I want to ask you, as much as I agree with you on the defensive end, it was better. Davion's kind of spearheads that. But his offense the other day, I thought was his best game, not only getting to the line, making free throws, making the last shot in regulation that the Kings needed to force overtime, just looked like a confident player. Where do you see Davion in a year or two offensively in this league? Because defensively, he's there. But offensively, do you think he could be that consistent guy that we saw the other game?
Yeah, I absolutely do. And this might be a stretch, but you guys, I think he's going to end up being one of the best two-way players in this league. I think that he has the potential offensively to be very, very good. And you can see how he's kind of evolved throughout the course of the season. He's figured out how he can have his ISO moments and break down the defense and get to the rim. And he can get to the rim on either side, left or right. Primarily, he goes left and he finishes right because he uses his body to kind of, shield off defenders that way. But his quick first step, he's got the mid-range game. His three-point shot is so much better. And I've said this all season long. His form, his shooting form and technique is so mechanically flawless, right? it's just going to take him getting reps and playing time and live situations and adjusting to the NBA game and the NBA 3-point line. And he's going to be really, really good in like a year or two, but it could be as early as next season because of what we've seen kind of the last, month or so from him.
If Katie and I agree 100% on something, that it's probably fact, because we 1,000,000,000,000% agree on everything she just said about Davion Mitchell, and hopefully we are correct for both the Kings and Kings fans. Katie, enjoy yourself in Indianapolis. Don't worry about doing the live FaceTimes on the show anymore. I will never ask you again. We appreciate you talking to us each week, and I'm sure we'll talk to you later. Thank you, dear. Have a great call tonight.
All right. Have a good show, y'all.